Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's a big difference. Like this one actually is on the Wish site. It says it'll do like a square meter of light. Whereas this one, you're stuck with just like maybe 6 inches, 8 inches. And then after 60 seconds, it goes off.
Will it come right back on fairly quickly, or?
There's a button on the top here. You just push the button and come right back on.
Okay.
But when you're dealing with the resin, pushing the button is a pain in the butt all the time. So I like this one a lot better, or if I'm doing smaller, like this one, because once it's on, it's on. You just got to make sure that you don't have the resin in front of it, like your bottle of resin.
Oh, yeah.
Anything out, it will cure it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
keep it by a window either.
No.
Not in sunshine.
Yeah, at least not the direct sunshine, because my desk here is actually right in front of the window and I can work on the resin here, but because I'm in the basement, it's not real bright. So I can work on the resin here, but I've actually taken the stuff and just taken it outside in the sun and cured it that way too.
Oh, goody.
my
I live in the South, 100-degree heat. Oh, yeah.
Well, last summer I was making dominoes, and I just took the whole tray out, set it outside, came back in, and about 10 minutes later went out and they were done.
So how do you tell?
Well, if they're totally done, they're not sticky. Until they're fully cured, the top is sticky.
Okay.
So you can touch it and it'll be a little tacky, and it's got to sit for a little bit longer.
Okay.
If you made a bowl and then later, after it was cured, made some little polymer clay things to cook in a grill oven or something, will it withstand the grill oven?
I don't know if this would withstand in the oven, but if you cured your Fimo in the oven, you could probably secure it with a little drop of resin. So you put like
I just thought of making bowls, because that would be rather nice if you could make lots of little bowls.
Mm-hmm.
But could you use them for then cooking the Fimo or something? It's an experiment we'll have to try.
Yeah, there you go.
Like it.
I haven't done any much for miniatures. I've made some stuff for my mom, like the little bear heads for a room box she was doing.
Yeah, and here's the chocolate bars that she made me.
Ah.
We got more of your hand.
If you try to put resin in an oven, you ought to be very wary of fumes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you're gonna try it outside.
Yeah, with the UV, there's no fumes, but when you hit it with that UV light, it does get really hot. That's when the chemical reaction takes place there, and
the chemical.
It'll get hot, but not like enough to burn.
Interesting.
Go. Fine, go.
Good luck. I'm glad to see that I'm not the only one that has kids that come in, and yours are a lot quieter and a lot more respectful than mine usually are.
Well, I've got one practicing guitar right now. One wants to play on the Nintendo Switch, and I don't know where the other two are.
Well, my two don't get out other than for school, so they see the screen full of ladies and they go nuts and they have to say goodnight to the ladies every night.
Yes.
That was what my last one did when he first saw the screen. Is like he wants to be in here.
Well, at least he's not streaking tonight for us.
No. He doesn't do that really anymore.
No. My two have decided that that's how they tell mommy that they are supposed to get, that I am supposed to get off, is they come in to tell all the ladies good night.
Right.
So,
Okay, any other questions of Kelly?
I don't have a question, but on Michael's, they have an online class every so often for the UV resin to make jewelry, and it gives you some points and, you know, and how-tos and stuff like that. So
Oh,
that's another source. It's free.
yeah.
I have a question in that after you think the resin is cured and you take it out of the mold, do you have to do anything?
Nope. This one actually, I was trying, my one daughter lost her guitar pick, so I was just going through the molds that I had to see if I'd have anything and just trying out this one. It didn't really, it's too pointy, but I had another one that would work temporarily. But this one was just popped right out of the mold. Once it's dry, you don't have to do anything to it.
So you zap it with UV while it's still in the silicone mold.
Yep. Yeah, do you want me, or whatever, you want me to show you kind of how I did the soup, the bowl of
Sure.
soup?
Sure.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Julia, were you here last week when I was showing the trellis that Kelly made me with her Cricut machine?
yes, I did
Oh.
see that.
I was gonna say, I've got,
Yes,
this is the way it
That
was
is
supposed to
really
be
cool.
with the vellum,
Mhm.
Lovely.
but yeah, this is on the Cricut. And so
yeah, that was really pretty.
Wait a minute.
You know, I had been tempted to get a resin 3D printer to get some of the really fine detail stuff out of clear resin. I can sculpt things quite well out of clay. Maybe instead of spending money on several $100s on that, I should spend $20 on this and just make one out of clay, make a silicone mold, spend $20 and get this stuff and just skip the $200 printer.
it depends on how detailed your mold is. This, I'm trying to get a good picture here. I don't know if you can see.
Back a little
I
ways.
think you're too close.
Yeah, okay, a little farther. Oh, yeah, now I
Pull
see.
it back just a little bit more.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
This, I ended up painting this because I poured this
Yeah.
one clear, but all the detail here was on the mold.
Well, I can do a lot with the filament 3D printer. There's just a few little things. It's mostly things like quarter scale drinking glasses and bottles and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And this might be very suited for this.
Yeah, something like that. I think it would work really good because it'd go into all the little cracks really good, and it's really easy to work with. So all I did was just pour some of the resin into a little cup here, and I've got a dye. I buy all my stuff off of Wish for this stuff, otherwise it's too expensive. So it's just resin dye, and this one's coffee colored.
Can you paint resin?
Yeah, the dragon.
I mean, if
this
you can paint it, just pour everything clear and paint it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I painted my chocolate bars that she made.
Yeah, otherwise, this is using that coffee colored dye. But so
Pull it back a little bit more, please.
yeah, there, good.
and so you can see it's a dark color, but if you hold it up to the light, you still see through it. That's so like it for like the soup or your coffee or whatever. If you want that translucent, doing the dye works out better. Otherwise, like these they're more opaque, but I put the white, like I think it was amber and white together to get that color.
And okay, what are you using for the color? What?
It's just resin dye.
Oh, okay.
And you just do it as dark or as light as you'd like it.
But you say some of them don't cure as well.
Yeah, it like black or really dark blue doesn't cure real well. You'd have to do like a layer by layer by layer.
Okay.
Light can't go through them, that's why.
So here I've just mixed up the dye.
Mhm.
And in here I've got the dried flowers. It's just these that I've cut up into just little sections, little.
So they look like vegetables. It's good.
Yeah, so it's more of like a vegetable soup with a beef broth.
Mm.
So I just put some into another little container here.
You can put little pieces of clay inside like you do with the 2-part resin, right?
You can, it's just I don't have any clay.
The 2-part resin I used to pour into clear jars with little bits of dried clay that were like green beans or something to make a mason jar of green beans. Could you do that with this stuff?
You could do that with this stuff. And next I'll detach my camera here and just show you like everything that I've got put in this.
It doesn't have horrible fumes?
I don't smell anything.
Okay.
And so I've got it mixed up here. And it's because of the putting in basically the fake veggies, it's thicker.
You're too high on the screen. You're off screen. Lower your hand, please.
I was just trying to straighten it out here.
Will that set up without using that light? I mean, what's the dry time on it, or your work time with it?
This will not dry until you hit that UV light onto it.
Oh, that's good.
So
Take it
it'll,
as long as we like. That's good, isn't it? You're not time dependent.
That sounds like what the dentist uses on your tooth when they put a filling in anymore.
yeah, they do something with the UV light. So basically this is gonna sit like this liquid until I hit it with the light. And
Or it
then,
can sit there for hours or days or whatever.
yep,
Yeah, I know, I see you.
It's nice. You don't have to hurry up.
now
Yeah.
you can take your time with this. There's no, like on some of those 2-part resins, you've got so long before it starts messing up.
As long as you're in the basement, not a sunny window.
Yeah.
Well, even I'll have sunlight coming in the window, but as long as you're not like right in the direct path of the light, like sunbathing.
So you don't have to hold it over the top of it.
No. And actually,
I thought you weren't supposed to like be, you're putting your hand in the UV light. That doesn't hurt anything.
not really. This one's an LED too. It's not the regular UVs.
It would be like sticking your hand in a tanning bed.
Yeah, with your traditional UV lights, that's pretty much what it's like. With the LED ones, it's not as much of an exposure to the UV rays.
I wouldn't leave your hand under it all the time, but it'd be
No.
okay to move something in and out of it. I just wouldn't leave your hand there.
And that's usually what I do is it's there and I'm not even like doing anything with it.
It is a slight amount of radiation, but it's radiation like you would get in a tanning bed or laying out on the beach kind of radiation.
And
So did Jackie put her little darlings under there and let them get a tan?
And that's just a little bit tacky, so it's almost done. That's how quick this stuff does.
And Kelly, you mentioned that one of your other lights is used for nails, for like the resin stuff on nails.
Uh-huh.
So it can't be too harmful.
No, it's, yeah, this is the one for nails. It's
Not as powerful, that one.
it's got a, like, this little part here flips down so that you'd actually, if both sides flip down, then you could stick your hand underneath it and cure your nails.
So how long does that usually take?
That one's a little bit, for the nails, when you're doing your nails, it's only a thin coat. So that one, it's usually about 60 seconds for a quick, and then when you're doing your final cure, it's 90 seconds.
Might be lower on the radiation too.
That's fine.
But you can put pretty much anything into this. Like this dish, I've got dried flowers, I've got rocks. I've done others where I've got like glitter pieces, confetti. And then like these ones are made for nails, but it's like your little fruit slices. I'm trying to black out some of this light so it's easier to
I
see.
got some of those. I
Yeah,
didn't know they were for nails.
Oh, yes. If you look nail art on Google, you'll see all the molds there.
I just picked them up at a flea market. I didn't know what they were. I just thought they were cute lemon slices.
the
Nail art, you'll see. Lots
You
of
can
molds.
get them on Wish for under the nail art too. Fruit or glitter or butterflies.
yeah, this is
Red, great.
these are all my little like the nail art molds that I have, but they're like they'll work for mini. Like this one's like a baguette, and the smallest one is about 1/8 of an inch. So you can do like this one here is your bears. So like when the Christmas box my mom was doing, she didn't need the bodies, but she needed all the heads. So I think she used like the smallest, and then the next size up for I think it was a quarter scale.
Okay, doll heads, you've got my interest now.
And so this mold would make up little bears. The body is for the largest one is 1 centimeter. The smallest is about a 1/2 centimeter.
Yeah, when I made my night before Christmas box, I wanted a little kid sleeping in bed, and see if I can get it up there. It's the little kid in bed, and you can see the head on the pillow. And I used the bear and just cut the ears off.
It's as bad as Jackie decapitating her.
Yeah, right.
And so
Marie Antoinette in reverse. I have the head, but not the body.
so just not really paying much attention here, but this is done now.
Oh, beautiful.
That's how quick you can have a bowl of soup.
Isn't that nice?
And this is like some of the leftover resin that I was using.
Still liquid.
Because it wasn't in line of the UV.
Yes, that's good.
So it'll stay liquid like this until you hit it with UV.
Brilliant.
Did you get your molds also from Wish?
Yep. At Hobby Lobby, they've got some molds, but it's more of like for your jewelry making.
Is it new
So
one?
you'd find more of like
Where's the
this
black one
or
that we-
Oh,
rings,
that's okay.
or in this the aisle where they've got the. Actually, it's right next to the Fimo. They've got molds like these.
Oh, there's the cabochon thing.
In my unused craft supply, it looks so useful, but you never use it pile of the section of the closet
Uh-huh.
is
Hmm.
silicone mold making equipment. So I can't wait. I've got everything except the UV resin. As far as the UV light, well, we live in the South.
But you got the sun.
Yeah, you got the sun.
This stuff's easy to work with, and I think it's more forgiving than doing the 2-part, because you don't have to worry so much about bubbles like you do with the 2-part.
Ooh, that's a selling point.
Yeah.
And it cures flat, right?
If it's thin layers, like to do this is a
Not
A4,
self-leveling.
which is like a 4x6.
Mm-hmm.
I tried doing this all as one sheet. Let me see how thick it is here. It's about 4 or 5 millimeters thick. I tried doing this as one sheet, and it just, because I couldn't get a real good even over the whole thing, it warped. But curing this, which is thicker but smaller, it cured fine as one sheet, is one pour. So I guess it depends on really how much space your light will cover.
True.
Not self-leveling. In other words, it's not liquid enough to flow level, is it?
It is self-leveling,
Good.
but just like for this bigger sheet, when it was drying, the light was more intense over one area than the other.
Oh yes.
So where it was more intense, it dried quicker. So it started
Pour
warping.
the other over, yeah.
So here it was good, here it was bent.
So you do have shrinkage when it dries.
Yeah, sounds
There's not much shrinkage, because in the molds, you actually, when you pull them out of the molds, they pretty much stay the same size. And then you just, when you're pulling the mold over, then it loosens it up and you see. But otherwise, it stays like the same size as the mold. Let me find.
I've never heard of Wish. Is it something like Amazon where you can send from anywhere to it, or?
Well, it's like most stuff's coming from China, so you wait 3 weeks on shipping.
There used to be one called Alibaba or something.
It's kind of like Alibaba.
Pardon?
It's
It
kind
is
of like
Alibaba.
Alibaba.
There's another one called AliExpress, which is similar to Wish.
Ah. So Wish.
They give you one charge, and then they'll tell you about the shipping costs later as you check out.
Yeah. Because I think Alibaba was almost free at one stage. So Wish. I'll write that. Why am I going to write it down? I can't read it. Darling, can you
Yes.
write it down for me?
I'm trying to get this popped in, but because this is a pendant, it's got a little nub pointing out.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to line it up just to show you,
That's right.
like, if there, like, the shrinkage. It's not really that much.
No.
It stayed pretty much true to form.
Mhm.
So
So-
if in doubt of a thickness and all, do it in layers.
If you're gonna do something that's like a solid color, which I don't have anything in actually here.
But the light can't shine through.
And so this was something that my kids had made up, another pendant, but you can't see through it. It's too opaque. So you'd want to do this just in a couple layers.
Uh-huh.
But sizing wise, like this was, my kids take all my scrap too. So they made a house out of dominoes, but there was like one pour for the dominoes, and these I actually put out in the sun to dry, but they don't really shrink. They don't, as long as it's an even light source, it doesn't warp. So like
Oh, is it UV resin?
Yeah, this is UV resin. It's just, they glued together a whole bunch
Sorry, I came late.
That's okay. And
The one thing, you don't have to mix two pieces,
no, the UV resin, it's
one.
just
one
one
go.
bottle.
Yeah.
Marcia, I forgot to tell you, are you recording this?
Yes, I am, but I didn't get the first of it. But anyway, yes.
And so your possibilities with this are endless. And if you wanted to, like, for attaching like they did here, it was a dot of UV resin,
I
your
wondered
piece,
that, yeah,
and then you hit it with the light.
handy.
So even like if you were doing like the Fimo, like you want to do like a little Fimo doll sitting on top, you could just drop a drop of resin on, put your
Handy
doll
done.
on, and then hit it with the light too.
Yeah.
So how would it do with Fimo?
Wouldn't make any difference to it because that's
I-
not light sensitive.
Wouldn't do
Yeah,
anything. Huh?
I think it would do fine with Fimo, as long as your Fimo's cured. I don't think it would do
Oh,
a
well, that's
problem.
what I mean. You still need an
Wouldn't
oven to
cure it.
bake it.
It
in,
wouldn't
right?
cure it. It needs heat for that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you can, but you can put UV resin over Fimo. A lot of jewelry makers use it for shine.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
because I've been watching a lot of jewelry videos.
these would be like Fimo, and I've
You
put them
wouldn't
in
even have to fire it.
the resin.
You wouldn't even have to fire the Fimo if you didn't want to.
Probably not, because
It would
No,
be
you have to
sealed.
bake the
encapsulated.
Fimo
Sealed,
first.
that would be fine. And this is a chemical reaction, which I don't think there would be.
now the Fimo, it doesn't really, the colors don't really bleed, so it should
Yeah,
be.
it'd be
I
fine.
think it would be fine.
Yeah, I think so. Worth an
Only
experiment.
if you bake it. You can't put it on raw.
Yeah.
Why?
And then once you put it on, you can't put it back in the oven to bake a second time.
Oh no, but you wouldn't need to. You wouldn't need to fire it if you're encasing it in resin. Once it's in the resin, it wouldn't do anything. Yeah.
Where's okay?
I would think if you covered the Fimo with the resin, it would become an airtight seal,
Yeah,
so
so
it wouldn't change.
Yeah.
Nothing would happen to it. It's just like you'd put it in a zip-up bag or some zip-up bag, and there it sits.
Yeah, I'm doing a experiment here with just some modeling clay.
Isn't this good? I do like experiments.
It's all right, kitty. So all I've done here, let me clear off some of this junk. I just took some of my kids' modeling clay and just made a little ball and just threw it in just clear resin.
What kind of clay is it?
It's, this is just modeling clay they got in a art kit.
Oh, like we used to call plasticine here. I don't know about that sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. It's smooth. It's got the feel of Fimo, but I don't know, like it's crazy art brand, so I don't know if it would be comparable to Fimo.
Right.
That's the equivalent of Play-Doh.
No, doesn't feel like Play-Doh.
No, it's probably equivalent to the clay that you put on your, like a real clay that's made out of earth. You know, like the clay you can put on your face for a facial.
Well, what about the one you can use for flowers? It's for flower arranging. It's like plasticine. It doesn't harden. You just push it into place. I use it for soil and then put tea leaves on it here. But that's only because I had some for flower arranging.
And I don't think this stuff dries out though.
No, that's what I mean. We call it plasticine over here. I don't know what you would call it. But
It sounds like it might be about the same type of stuff. And so this is already, it's tacky, but it's solid.
Yeah. That's fine. That's good.
And so I'll give this a minute here to finish curing, and I'll squeeze it and see what happens.
Should be all right because that seems pretty hard.
And there's no color, like discoloration. It's still a bright purple.
Yeah, that's good.
So you might be able to do like a Fimo and just like without it being cured.
Yeah.
As long as it's totally covered by this.
Totally encased.
The only thing I would worry about with that, a lot of times your Fimo stuff, if you put it in plastic, it will eat through the plastic. It doesn't bother plastic bags, but like hard plastic containers, it pits or will eat through.
That may be the problem. I know things like sarin wrap or cling film it will eat through.
I don't know, because this is like a epoxy. I don't know if the Fimo would eat through epoxy.
Holy stuff. I
Even
don't
if
know what.
it did, it would take an awfully long time.
Yeah. Probably not for us to worry about. We'll be gone.
And the only thing I can see here just by dropping it in is it went all the way to the bottom. So there was just a really thin layer.
Put this up on the bottom first.
So you'd want to put like a little bit on first because squeezing it, it broke through. So it's coming, the clay's coming out. So I think if you'd put like a layer down first,
So
then your clay, then more resin, you should be fine. Because here it's good on the back, but on the front it sunk with the weight, it just sunk right down.
Like a little cabochon pop.
Okay, any other questions you can think of before Kelly leaves?
No, but it was lovely. It's interesting.
Thank you.
All sorts of ideas.
And if you do have any questions, can ask my mom and I can get back to you that way too.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, just yeah. Cheryl, you can send me the link to that wish, whatever.
Kelly can type it in. I don't have it.
I'll type it in.
Oh, okay.
Where are you going to type it? Where are you going to type wish? Oh, you've written it down. Oh, thank you, Dana. What time? 12:53 a.m.
Okay, anything else for Kelly?
We're all going to go home and experiment. Oh, we are.
Okay, well, if you think of something, type it in the chat box and I can print that off and email it to her. Okay, Rusty,
Kelly.
are you making anything in miniature?
No, all I've done is drive my husband mad trying to get him to close jump rings for me because I was mending a necklace, and I could feel what to do, but I wasn't sure if the jump rings would close properly or not. Bless him. But we managed it between us. So I've mended the necklace. That's all I've done this week. A craft. But there you go.
Kelly, are you still here? Did she leave?
Did say she had to go, didn't she?
Didn't get to thank her.
I think we did. Most people did.
You gonna still be recording, Marcia? Were you
Uh,
meaning to still be recording?
Well, I'm doing it for kind of an experiment for seeing how it
Oh, okay.
records and how it would transfers and all that stuff. But that was the main thing I was doing. So probably not too long. Okay, Evelyn. And you're muted.
I'm
There you
working.
go.
I'm still working on the Apple Club boombox that I was working on last week. There's a lot of furniture pieces.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Kathy Ellison.
Oh, I'm making hay bales
Oh boy.
for my saloon.
You need my baler?
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I'm in the process of, and it's not doing real well, but it'll get there. I'll just keep practicing. So that's all. And then I've been just working on my saloon and, you know, and making some things. I made the stove. So, and I bought myself some, today I went to Harbor Freight and got myself some tube bending pliers or things. And these will go from 1/8 to 1/4 inch tubing. And it won't put kinks in your tube if you're trying to make a shape with tubing.
Uh-huh.
And they were I think $8.99 or something like that. They weren't very expensive. So I haven't used them yet. I just bought them today. So I'm gonna try them, and I have to get a little bit larger tubing. I thought I had a big enough piece. I'm gonna put it for the stovepipe on the stove. Because I couldn't find a real small straw that had those bendy parts all already in it. So I'm going to try and make my own.
Kathy, will that cut tubing as well?
No, it does not.
Oh, okay.
They do make, they make a cutter also. But, and that was, I think I thought for like $12. It wasn't real expensive, but for what it does. No, in fact, I typed in a cutter and bender, and it didn't come up with anything. So, yeah, so I'm excited to try it and see how it works. So that's all I've been doing.
Oh, I got my 9-volt battery, but I didn't find any the little thingies you put on the top of the battery yet by Mark.
Oh,
so
well, you can ask who had those.
Oh, Lucy probably does, but
no, but I mean, one of the gals said they'd send you one for free.
Evelyn, did she say that?
Yeah, Evelyn,
I
you
got
had some of those, did you?
I got my plug, Kathy.
Oh, did it come? Okay.
Yeah, it came.
It's not broken, is it? It's not broken.
No, it was fine.
Okay, I was worried about maybe it got broken.
And I just looked up because I was pretty sure you cannot bake. You cannot put raw polymer clay in resin. It doesn't work. Probably the resin will end up cracking.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, I knew that from watching my jewelry videos, but I just wanted to.
Yeah.
We'll check. That was kind.
Yeah, I wanted to look it up to be sure.
Baked Fimo is okay.
Yeah.
Yes. But once you resin it, then you can't put it back in the oven again. So you can't put the resin on it until you're ready to put it until after you know that you are not going to put it in the oven anymore.
Right.
Like liquid primer, just
Yeah.
the glaze.
Yeah.
Okay. Barbara W.
Well, I'm still sorting out all my little cardboard pieces, but I've been playing with my Cricut Joy this week, trying to make Easter cards for my grandkids. With each of them having their own name, something is just not working right. So, and this is for Hunter. So I might take my fancy scissors and cut around it and glue it on another page. I was trying to get the cutouts, but I guess I haven't practiced enough to get it cut right.
Okay, I can help you.
Okay.
You're going on your main screen, you're going to have the parts you want. I'm assuming you're doing some parts are drawn with an ink pen and some parts are cut, right?
Well, that was my desire, but it didn't happen that way. I mean, I'm perfectly happy with these. I can use colored pencils. I think that would be really cute on these.
Somewhere on your cut options, you're going to have to select different parts of the design and tell it that you're using a pen or tell it to cut. It'll be in some of the options on cutting.
I know, that's what I was looking for, but I got tired of looking, and so I just printed it out with a pen. I couldn't find it, and I watched videos, and I still couldn't find it, so.
I think it's the upper right-hand corner drop-down menu. I don't have one anymore, but
Well, that's what I thought, but this is the Cricut Joy, so it's a little bit different than the regular Cricut. So, and some of the videos, it's got things on the left-hand side that aren't there anymore. So, it's just a matter of playing and practicing with it, I guess.
yes, I'm beginning to think that I want to go back a little bit old school and use the stuff I have and use the molds and the older machines and the hand tools and see what I can get some of those things to do instead of buying another expensive machine.
I know, well, this was given to me for Christmas, so I feel like I got to learn how to use it. On the other hand, I have a cameo silhouette and it's still sitting there, so I was learning how to use it, and then I had to box everything up to move out here, so.
Well, I've got some machines that are fancy and some just, 1960s yard sale stuff. And I feel like instead of buying something new, I need to just take some time and just use what I have and really get a better hand. I mean, use a mold instead of buying a machine.
Yeah.
The raffle that they just had, let's say that you wanted a resin heart. The 3D printer they just raffled off